Dear guests, you guessed it right. Our next session brings to the stage 4 visionary municipal leaders who will share valuable insights into current initiatives and how smart town strategies are shaping the future of urban life in Cyprus. To lead this fascinating discussion, please join me in welcoming to the stage Mr. Christoforos Anagiotos, Board Member, Deal Advisory, and Head of Real Estate and Construction at KPMG, along with Mr. Haralambos Brountzos, Mayor of Nicosia, Dimos Katsis, Deputy Mayor of Limassol, Iason Iassonidis, Deputy Mayor of Larnaca, and Pantelis Georgiou, Mayor of Kourion Municipality.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome also from my behalf. I would like to thank you for attending today's event and coming here to hear from this discussion some insights about urban planning. I am honored and delighted to be moderating today this esteemed panel of mayors, and hopefully we'll be able to give you a lot of new information, but also resolve some of the issues that you may be wondering about. Ladies and gentlemen, we are living in a world where there are new norms. Our living and working conditions are changing. People are giving more emphasis on their quality of life, on criticizing or challenging the norms. They put more emphasis on technology. They have more platforms to scrutinize whatever they are facing in their everyday life. And this, of course, changes our social interactions, the way we commute, and our daily lives. Today we'll be talking about how the urban planning is impacted by technology, how the smart cities evolved, how sustainability is being taken into account in this urban development, and how the new local authorities are looking ahead to develop their cities and their financing issues. As noted, I am here today with a very esteemed panel, and I will start by giving our mayors the chance to make a small introduction about their municipalities, the challenges they face. Then we have some rounds of questions and, of course, allow some time for questions from the audience as well. So let me start in sequence of the sitting. Mr. Haralambos Brountzos is the mayor of Nicosia. He's a lawyer by background, but also an insolvency practitioner, and he owns his own legal firm, and he has been involved in various sectors of the economy, like renewable energy, waste management, which are of course relevant to what he is doing today. And over time, he has also participated in different organizations like the CIFA, the Open University Science. So, Haralambos, let's have your reviews about maybe your first impressions, if I may say. You've been elected in July, so about the new Nicosia municipality.
First of all, many thanks for this invitation. It's a great pleasure to be here with you. As you correctly pointed, Christoforos, we are now almost 10 months within our term. For the people that might not be aware, local authorities have undergone a significant transformation as of this term, with the creation of the district organizations which have undertaken several services, including licensing for real estate developments. But also, for some municipalities, we had an extensive merger of municipalities, of which the most significant has taken place in Nicosia. So Nicosia, which was a municipality of 55,000 people, merged with another 3 urban municipalities, Aglanja, Engomi, and Agios Zomedios, forming what is now a very large municipality of almost 150,000 people, Just to give you some figures, we're talking about 104 square kilometers, which forms the main urban fabric of the city of Nicosia, with 704 employees. That's not always a good thing. With a budget of 73 million euros, and with ongoing projects of more than 100 million in terms of infrastructure. So this new municipality essentially requires a completely different approach in terms of urban planning. As far as smart city planning is concerned, Nicosia was the first one to actually adopt a smart city model. So we've got an extensive network of sensors in the city, which help us with things like parking, like monitoring of waste management. So for instance, for underground bins that we have installed, we can see how full they are, and we get a signal in the control center, and then we can go and collect either recycling, which is not carried out by us, it's carried out by an independent company, or if it's waste, by us. Apart from that, we've got a wide network of security cameras in various public places. We monitor all our parking spaces electronically through the control center. We do air quality monitoring, and we've launched an app where people can see the quality of the air. And also, we are the first municipality to actually have a research and innovation center, which is headed by the municipality of Nicosia Science, which includes the 3 public universities, University College London and Max Planck, in which we have created the digital twin of the city, with which we can create several scenarios that have to do with the sustainability of the city. So for instance, if you want to run a scenario for flooding, we use the digital twin, and we are able to run scenarios to see how the infrastructure of the city is stressed under certain scenario. Now, Nicosia is not any city. First of all, it's a capital, so it's a governmental center, but it's the only divided capital in Europe, as you know, which is a very different characteristic to any other normal European city. So the merger has not just added area into the city, but it has merged ex-municipalities, legacy municipalities, with completely different characteristics. So what I did, even before I was in the pre-election campaign, I studied the city in terms of demographics, to be able then to do urban planning, not on the basis simply of spatial allocation, but predominantly to look at the demographics and see what are the needs in each and every area. So you have, for instance, the Engomi and Aglanja areas, which have an average age which is significantly lower to the average age which we have in the center of Nicosia. Also, the density of population in these new residential areas is much higher, and that creates a more dynamic economy. We also have 40,000 on-site students in Nicosia. Nicosia is a huge campus, essentially, with 5 large universities. Now we're going to get another 2 or 3 universities additional. So when you do urban planning, you need to take all this into consideration. And then we looked at ways on how we could serve the citizens in a better way. And we launched Novoville, which is now extending to become our city app, through which we offer 76 different categories of services, where citizens can file applications, complaints, or even send a photo of a problematic area, like a street surface or a pavement, or waste, existence of waste in public spaces. And then it follows a normal ticketing process, whereby you have transparency, plus it gives us the ability, again, through the control center, to monitor the problems in an area. So if we, let's say we get 12 complaints for waste in a particular area, it means 2 things. Either that our supervisor is not doing his job properly, yeah, so there's no proper supervision on littering, or number 2, that there is somebody there in that area which is littering the area. And this ability to gather data from the smart city enables us to do both urban planning, critical infrastructure planning, but also to improve our services towards the citizens.
Thank you, Haralambos. We'll be back to discuss these things with questions, and I can confirm that I'm a user of Novoville. Next in line is Dimos Katsis, is the Deputy Mayor of the city of Limassol. Dimos is also a lawyer by background, and again, also an insolvency practitioner. So this is a tip if you want to become a mayor, I guess. He's involved in various projects. He's been in his position again since 2024, so again, a relatively new member of the local authorities. He's been involved in projects with the EU, like unfair commercial practices and legalization of public documentation. So he has a very wide area of expertise. Dimos, would you have your own introduction about Limassol? Thank you.
First of all, good morning. I would like to thank Christoforos and my extinguished colleagues here in the panel. I was elected in the position of the Deputy Mayor, as you correctly indicated, on 9th of June. So we took over and immediately try effectively to understand the city, something very similar to what Haralambos said. And we started by organizing and administering which person does what in the municipality. So my duties are mainly concerned with my district, my constituency, which is the largest constituency in Cyprus, the city of Limassol, as well as things like the international relations of the city, the digitalization and the digital transformation of the city, urban planning and urban problems in relation to my constituency, and things related with our municipality in general, being international relations and our sea, our beach, which is effectively what differentiates ourselves and what we try also to develop. In terms of how we started doing things, we separated and made a strategy with my team in the area of things that they need to be done immediately, things that they need to be done in a time zone of 1 to 2 years, and long-term planning. So what we did, very similar again to what Haralambos said, we walked the city. All the city,
I'm sorry.
No worries, no worries. So in all fairness and in all modesty, I believe I know each part of Limassol now. So what we tried to do, we tried to develop things that citizens can enjoy in their daily life. So the first and immediate thing was fixing 6 parks in the area of Limassol within 9 months that the citizens now use on their daily life, because our goal on the immediate planning was to do things that the citizens can enjoy immediately and drastically. And I'm very proud to say that in our neighborhoods now, during the weekend in these areas, citizens use these parks, enjoy them, and the plan now is by the end of 2025 to finish 30 parks in the city of Limassol, spread all around the city. The concept of these parks are either urban design, either basketball parks, either parks with gymnastics, and in our future planning, we plan also to build parks which are in relation to recreational activities like chess parks or parks for things like open theater and maybe things like related with infrastructure in the area of doing gyms outside. So this is the plan. This was our immediate plan. The second aspect, which we now concentrate, was on the overall digitalization of the city. So the first thing that we had to fix was the things in the municipality. All over in Cyprus, the municipalities use a program called Evagoras. We digitalize ourselves inside the municipality. We brought a full drastic transformation of what was happening. And we are proud to say that about 2 weeks ago, we completely finished all the digitalization, which was, in all fairness, 40 years back. So now we are in a position to indicate that within our team, we are up to date 100%. Now for the future of the city, in relation to urban design, We are currently in the process of making a full smart city in the area of parking sensors, and everything related with using and trying to use an app in order to be in a position to park. We are also updating fully our systems, and we recently received a report from an external IT person that transforms cities outside Cyprus. And our plan is effectively the citizen for the future to be in a position, use an app, and have a digital relation with the city. Now, in addition to this, and because of our distinct role as a city having a sea, what we did these 9 months was putting sensors in order to understand the quality of the water. Again, because a lot of things are heard about this, Limassol, about a month ago, has been awarded 2 blue flags in our beach, which is Actio Olympion. Is the beach that starts from Crown Plaza Hotel and ends in Limassol Marina. And then we have another beach, which is we have a small part, Pantelis has the biggest part there, is the beach in Ladies Mile, where, without any doubt, is one of the best beaches in Cyprus. Going now to the last part, because before I giving this to my extinguished guests, for us the future of the city relates with also pressuring the state, pressuring the central state to do state projects in Limassol. We are very proud to say that we contribute more than 50% of the GDP in this country, but we need the state to help us a bit more in the area of state projects related with traffic, which is the major issue that we are facing now, together with high rents and our idea to develop communal flats for our citizens. So about traffic, our plan is to build the 5th parallel road of Limassol. This is on the maps. We believe that it will open the city to a large extent. And we will discuss afterwards also about our plans to develop municipal housing, which will be with particular criteria, but also buildings for students. We have our own technological university with whom we will work in order to be in a position to house our students as well. So, in a nutshell, this is it, and we are very open to hear ideas, discussion about the future. Thank you so much.
Mr. Yassounis, he's the Deputy Mayor of Larnaca. He has studied political sciences and also has a degree, a master's in public administration. He also runs a family business in the retail sector. He's been involved in local authorities since 2001, and he has assumed the position of Deputy Mayor in 2024, the recent elections. And he's also been involved in, again, a wide range of things like being president of the Cultural Creativity Center in the Confederation of Professional Craftsmen Shopkeepers, but also the Throne Commissioner to the Holy Metropolis of Kidion, as I understand. Mr. Yassounis, please let us know about maybe the city has maybe trying to catch up with a lot of new developments and a lot of interest from investments.
As you said, I will try to present Larnaca from another angle. We have done a few things like the other two towns, like the other two cities, Lefkosia and Limassol have done. But I would like to present you Larnaca from another angle, since I see no people from Larnaca here, due to the fact that I know most of the people who live in Larnaca, either investors or local people or people who live in Larnaca. So I will try to give you another presentation about Larnaca. It is with great honor and sincere appreciation that I have accepted the kind invitation to participate in this year's Realty on Expo Cyprus 2025. Allow me to begin by extending my congratulations to the organizers for creating this invaluable platform for dialogue and for the opportunity to contribute to today's discussion about our city's development, a subject of increasing importance for all our communities. As the Deputy Mayor of Larnaca, I'm so proud to represent a city with rich and enduring history, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in Europe and all over the world for the 4,000 years. Although Larnaca has been recognized one of the 20 oldest cities in the world, it is a 10,000-year-old city. For the last 4,000 years, people never left Larnaca. And today, when we excavate to repair the sewerage system or to exchange the water pipes, we find antiquities dated back 4,000 or 5,000 years. So it's a city built on a city. Larnaca has always been a city of culture, openness, and transformation. We aim to further and enhance Larnaca's development and position the city as an attractive destination for new business, for new investments, as well as for tourism and other businesses. It is a fact that Larnaca's touristic and real estate sectors have not yet, and I want to emphasize that, have not reached their stagnation stage compared to other areas of Cyprus. Therefore, this is a great investment opportunity, in addition to the fact that prices in Larnaca are generally lower and have the potential to generate the biggest opportunities with a very profitable return. Over the past 7 years, Larnaca has experienced a remarkable wave of growth and revitalization. Major infrastructure projects, strategic investments, and a forward-looking vision have positioned our city as a key destination for innovation, for tourism, and sustainable urban living. From the regeneration of our coastal front to the development of new cultural, residential, and commercial hubs, the transformation of Larnaca is both visible and inspiring. Beyond its development, Larnaca remains a city that is safe, accessible, and centered on human well-being, with no major traffic problems. I repeat, with no major traffic problems and a strong sense of community. It is a family-oriented city. These advantages, with the fact that Larnaca is very welcoming and conveniently located city with rich history and natural beauty, make our area a promising place for new investments. Larnaca, it is a city of culture, civilization, and grandeur. It is the most southeastern city of the European community. Anything south of Larnaca is Africa, anything north is Asia, anything east is the Middle East. It is the place where Europe begins and Europe ends, with 3 characteristics: an international airport, an international marina, and an international harbor. So remember this, in Larnaca, Europe ends and Europe begins in Larnaca. A city that offers prosperity and progress, where everyone can make their dreams come true. We are lucky and proud that Larnaca today is a multicultural city where various ethnic groups and religious communities coexist peacefully and harmoniously. The chief rabbi of Cyprus has his what is it called? Not the church, the synagogue. Thank you. The synagogue, the chief rabbi of Cyprus is in Larnaca. In conclusion, I would like to say that the mayor's, Andreas Viras, and my dream is to create a city that is developed with respect to the environment, a place where people can raise their families, find a pleasant and decent job, create profitable business, live in peace and tranquility, but most importantly, we would like to keep Larnaca a safe and humane place. And we would like to become the capital cultural of Europe in 2030. And when you find yourselves in Larnaca, please feel like home or call my number and I welcome you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Iassonidis. We'll be back to discuss how Larnaca will be able to merge the growth strategies together with this current family-oriented city that it has. Pantelis Georgiou, he's the engineer of the panel here today. He has studied engineering in the UK, and then he set up his own construction company, but also he's involved in retail business. Although he's the younger member of this panel, he's the longest serving mayor. He has been originally in the municipality council since 2011, and then elected mayor in 2016 for the first time. And since 2024 now is the mayor of Kouriou. Pantelis.
Good morning to you all. Thanks for the invitation. I'm actually the only mayor of a non-urban area. Kouriou is the western suburban area of Limassol. It has been created from the merge of Ipsonas, Trachoni, Kolossi, Erime, Episkopi, Kandou, Sodira, Asomatos, and Akrodiri. It's unique in a number of ways. Ipsonas is highly industrialized. It has the largest industrial area within the district of Limassol, and it's the second largest in the country. And it also features the most environmental sensitive area after Agamas, the Akrodiri Peninsula. So in an area where we are trying to transform for the next 30 years, we couldn't have done so, and we won't move forward unless we have a strategic plan that incorporates all of the above. It's an area that inhabits around 40,000 people, and it's highly unmanned in comparison with Nicosia. We've got a manpower of around 100 people, where it should be under our infrastructure and our schedule. We have a manpower of around 200 personnel. So we are down by 50%, which is sometimes it's a good thing because we can actually schedule ahead and build up the city as we want it to. Kouriou, as I said earlier, has a unique feature. It's the only municipality that is governed by two municipal laws. The municipal law of the Republic and the municipal law of the SPAs. 57% of it is under UK jurisdiction. And so we have what we call an overlapping ordinance of the local authority. So in comparison with my colleagues, I need to deal with two governments and basically do everything twice so I can keep up with what is happening. It has given us a different perspective on how we should develop the area. If we take Lady Ismail, for instance, although it's one of the best beaches in Limassol, we cannot actually develop it because of the restrictions in the environmental protection. It's something that has found us with a lot of NGOs on the same side, and it's something that we would like to keep for the future generations. All of us here on the panel, and as the mayors of the country, we would like to see our places grow, but we should take in consideration to what we give to the next generation. So in order to move forward, we came up with a 30-year strategic development plan that we had to agree with the SPAs as well, where there is a no development land throughout the southern part of Kouriou that stretch from Lady Ismail up to Episkopi, so we can actually retain the environmental effects of the area. And on the northern side, it is highly comprised of houses and industrial areas, so that we can accommodate the people that are coming to Kouriou. To accommodate for that, together with Limassol and Amazunda, we have taken on the project from the central government to extend what we call the North Parallel. It's a 130 million project, which will basically unlock the high traffic problem that we have in the area. Kourion is the first municipality that has tendered for the construction plans, and we are estimating that by 2027, we will start the part that will start from Polemidia and end up in Erimi, costing up to 57 million. In order to facilitate the growth for the next generations as far as the green infrastructure that is needed, we have allocated an area between Ipsonas, Trachoni, and Kolossi of 2 million square meters, what we call the Kourium Central Park, which will be the next Central Park of Limassol. If you look on the map, you will see that everything is moving on the west side. So we need to have and keep the average green space needed for the population. So when we incorporate all these features that we said before in the equation, we needed a park that would actually accommodate the needs for the next 30, 40 years. So we have designed the Kourium Central Park in the center of the Kourium municipality, which is connected with Limassol through a number of bike lanes, and through the rest of Kourion through 3 linear parks that extend up to what we call the Metropolitan Park of Limassol, which starts from Kouris Dam and ends up to Yermasoya Dam. What we tried to do is actually create a green belt around the city, which will set the boundaries of where the city needs to go, and change the microclimate of the area and strengthen its resilience against climate change. If we don't do that, it would be as good as nothing, because in the next 15, 20 years, things will change drastically as we concrete and we seal the soil in the greater Limassol area. That's it for now. I'll give the panel back to Christoforos and whatever you need to ask me.
Thank you, Vandalis. Thank you, everyone, for your introductions. We've heard a lot of issues and challenges that the municipalities are facing, and I think we all come to realize that as citizens, we often do not really understand all the social infrastructure and the soft infrastructure that is being developed until it's being delivered, and all the work that is being done by the municipalities silently for the cities to maintain their sustainability and their growth. I have prepared a set of questions for the mayors. I will have to ask you for brief answers so that we are able to cover a number of subjects. And the first one, I will start again with the same sequence to Charalambos. One of the concerns is about the societal trends and about remote working, online shopping. These maybe are working against the traditional city centers, which are becoming maybe less active as they were in the past. How does the city, and especially a city like Nicosia with the old center, make sure that it can maintain a long-term live communal center in the old city?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I mean, if you look at our cities, we had the nucleus of the city, which is what we call the old city, which in the case of Nicosia is a medieval city actually within the walls. And then the city started expanding outwards, yeah? And this trend continues because of the tradition in Cyprus to own a house, which is leading new families and new young people to move further out where land is affordable or where flats are affordable. Nobody thought that this will create a big infrastructure and urban planning issue, because you get what we call urban sprawling, which is not what you don't want in a city. Yeah, a city continuously moving outwards without having density. And why do you need density? Because it's what makes public transport viable. It's what creates economies of scale because you have savings on your infrastructure network like sewage, drainage, pavements, roads, churches, schools, everything. So we're not going to invent the wheel. What you need is what we call a 12-minute city or a 15-minute city. And what is that? Is a social cluster where people can cover all their needs within a radius of 12 to 15 minutes, which is the maximum amount of walking that you do before getting into a car, which in Cyprus, which is one of the 13 countries with the highest degree of desertification, I would say is more towards 12 minutes rather than 15 minutes. So our centers are all facing challenges, and I think this is happening to Larnaca as well, not because they're not nice, but because there's not enough people to use them as actual centers of a 15-minute city, because population is moving further out. So if the strategy is to fill up these centers with visitors only, that's a completely wrong strategy. So what we're doing in Nicosia is that our primary strategy with regards to the center, which is a gorgeous place, and we've thrown 200 million in the last 15 years for infrastructure in the center, is simply to bring permanent residents back into the center. And to do that, we are doing it with two distinct strategies. One strategy is to create not affordable housing in the sense of completely low pricing of housing, yeah, but to convince a person that is not worth going 20 minutes out of the city, which in traffic hour is 50 minutes out of the city, and pay a small premium on the per square meter price so that they can have everything on their feet in the center of the city. So that's one strategy, bring permanent residents back in with a competitive per square meter cost. And we do that with many town planning and construction incentives. Nicosia is the only city which has, it was the first one to have an area scheme with unlimited number of floors so that we could have vertical development within a specified place. Number two is that we are bringing students. So we are bringing 2 new universities back into the center of the city, a lively community, an outgoing community, a young community that will revive the center of the city. And number three, we are trying to increase our tourist presence by essentially making what is now 6% of overnight stays of the total tourism flow in Cyprus, extending it by 0.8 overnight stays per person to 1.8, and taking 6% to 12%. That will add another 400 million of revenues for the city of Nicosia. To do all that, though, you need to remember two things. Number one, stressing your infrastructure and sustainability. So you need to make sure that you have what it takes to accommodate these people. And number two, not to get over-touristed, not to bring in people that will absorb units either by way of Airbnb or by Booking.com that will alleviate stock. And the last thing is how you activate your existing stock, which is a major issue for Cyprus, for the whole of Cyprus. So if you allow a person to keep their property idle without any cost, they're going to keep it forever, especially if they have depreciated that investment 15 times over the course of time. So you need to create a disincentive for people to keep commercial, residential, or even land idle without having any significant cost. So we're working in this multidimensional direction because people will make every single use viable and attractive.
Thank you, Haralambos. This is, of course, very interesting to hear how the various problems are being tackled. And, of course, the cost of idle properties has been a discussion that I think At government level, there must probably be a more decisive policy. Dimos, on the same matter of residential availability, and specifically in Limassol, there's a lot of discussion about the economic polarization, if I may use the term, of some fast-moving, maybe foreign companies that have settled in the city being able to pay higher salaries with employees that are then able to afford more expensive housing. This has led the prices up in certain areas, making it impossible for, let's say, the local population to have access to such residential offerings. You also mentioned a while ago about communal housing. So how is the municipality trying to resolve this issue of affordability?
First of all, what I would like to say, and this was actually on the hard court of my campaign before being elected, is that Limassol is and has always been a crossroad of ideas, people, business, and trade. So this is the history of this city. This is who we are. So the first thing that we need to do is to invest on bringing even more people here. I'm a big supporter of the idea that Limassol can reach the stage where it's going to be one of the best places in the world, worldwide, for people to choose and live permanently. We had a period in Limassol that there was a big development mainly related with the naturalization program, which brought a lot of buildings that unfortunately were not used by the people that they were buying them. The future of the city is related with bringing people that they will stay here, live here, establish themselves, establish their business, embrace and become Limassolians. So one of the initiatives that we started in relation to the question of your development is the creation of a non-governmental association where people that they are not born Cypriots or Limassolians will be in a position to have their own forum, their own ideas, be in a position, we will call them ambassadors of the city, and we will create a networking group with these people to be part of the future that we will build for Limassol. So this is in relation to your question about development. Now, when you have a lot of development, this created some problems of the nature that we were describing, in the sense of we have a lot of business here, we have a lot of companies, so this inevitably led to high rise in the area of renting accommodation and also creating a business. So as a municipality, we started 4 initiatives in order to combat this. Firstly is the creation of a program which is similar to the program of Vienna municipality, which is to develop buildings of ourselves that citizens of Limassol on completely financial criteria will be in a position to stay with the lowest possible rate. So this initiative started in a historical area of Limassol, is the area of St. Nicholas. We are cooperating with COAG, which is the state association that finances this project, and we are going to have the first 600 flats by, I anticipate, beginning of 2027. This, I believe, will help a lot people from the lower classes because, and we will also have another big impact on the city in the sense that it will enable us to have more offer on the market, so correct a bit what you are saying. Second initiative that we took is very similar to what Haralambos said, with the idea of bringing people in the center, but give initiatives to developers that will contribute in the city. So, and we need to say this for people on the level of the state, which is in connection with the recent developments on our law, we need to keep the power on the cities to decide on their development. So what we are doing now, despite the fact that there is a new licensing board, EOA, in all cities, the right to give incentives remains on us. So what we did, we established a formula which each kind of developer can use to receive 1 or 2 extra floors within our municipality. So we want to give incentives to people, but we want also the investors to give money back to us to develop in the city. So it's a win-win situation, guys, with us, you know. And what we want is people to invest, but also embrace the dream of Limassol. Thirdly, is our initiatives. We cannot have a city without a center. You cannot have a city without a center which is full to the greatest extent of inhabitants. In this respect, we need students in our center. We are building, as I told you before, our own student houses, municipal houses, and the plan is to bring as many more people we can in the city center in order effectively to make it a multidimensional place of the people that they were going to be living there.
Thank you, Dimos, and I just want to stand at the realization that in order for our cities and the economies of our cities to grow, we need to invite new people in. Our birth rates all over Europe are so slow that if we don't allow for new population to come in, we will not facilitate growth.
If I can have a quick point on that. What we also need to do, and is not part of us here, is to see how we sort out things on our licensing authorities. And now we need to say to people here that the licensing is no longer part of the municipalities. In each city there is a new authority that takes care of this. We need to be way, way faster and way, way more flexible in terms of taking decisions there. In Limassol we face a problem, and it's getting better. I think everywhere there is a problem. It's getting better, but we need to make it to the greatest extent possible.
Thank you, Dimos. Mr. Iassonidis, we often hear from the public authorities, from mayors, that the budget allocation that they get from the central government is not adequate, and it is not comparable to the EU levels and benchmarks. Of course, there is a counter-argument that in some other European countries, for example, the municipalities offer more services or infrastructure like public transport, etc. But what are your views about the budget that is being allocated to the municipalities, and how could this be improved to allow the municipalities to move faster with their development programs?
Okay, as you know, by law, what goes to the municipalities is 1.06 from the central government to the Union of Municipalities, and the union distributes accordingly those money. That money translates to 117 millions for the 20 municipalities. Each municipality may get from 3 to 10 millions. Actually, Larnaca gets about 10 millions of that budget. Nicosia gets, I don't know, approximately a little bit more than that, and also Limassol. If we compare that to the GDPR of Greece, which is in the neighborhood, the central government allocates to the municipalities 2.5 up to 3%, if I'm not mistaken, which is much more money to the municipalities to do a lot of projects. If we go further north to the Scandinavian countries, they are getting about 25 to 30% of the GDPR to the local authorities. And that's why those countries have a lot of programs running, even they take care of the older people. This is a problem in Cyprus, and it's our continual argument with the government that they should give us more money. We have to repair pavements, we have to pave roads, we have to maintain and create parks, green areas, and all those money they need, all those projects, they need money. Although in Larnaca we have this problem, we have managed to get money from the European community. For the last 7 years, Larnaca has received close to 60 million euros from the European community, and we have co-financed a lot of projects. Pialet Pasha, the road from the castle to the end of Pialet Pasha that lies to the west of Larnaca and goes from the boundaries of the airport towards the end of Finigudes. We have done the great park of Salina, and all this money come from the European community. So we continually try to bring money to Larnaca from the European community. I would like to add that in Larnaca, there are a lot of listed buildings, especially in the center, where have been transformed into local hotels, into boutique hotels. And since Larnaca is a compact, it's a smaller city than the other ones, we have the benefit for the tourists and the people who come to live in Larnaca that they can walk in the center. They can walk to the beach, they walk to supermarkets, they walk to restaurants, and they walk to cafeterias. And this, as I said in my previous statement, makes Larnaca more humane city. And another thing, I would like to add that Larnaca is expanding towards the east because we have merged since 10 months ago with Oroklini and Livadia. Oroklini and Livadia used to be Oroklini, not a small village, a village that a lot of British people were and continue to live there. And Livadia is mostly Greek Cypriots who live for the moment, but we have a lot of investments and a lot of people who are building from Israel and Lebanon. So Larnaca is expanding towards the east of Larnaca as opposed to the west, which is the airport, and we cannot expand due to the fact that the airport is interrupting our expansion. We are trying to become, as I said before, the cultural capital of Europe for 2030, and that we hope is going to give a lot of prestige and a lot of promotion to Larnaca. Thank you.
Thank you, Yasanas. On the same aspect of financing, Pantelis, you mentioned earlier about projects that are being planned, and you also threw a number of 57 million planned projects. But how attractive do you think this can be for investors, and could public-private partnerships work in Cyprus? And why haven't they not been quite used? I mean, there are some sporadic examples of such projects, but have you considered financing new development with private finance initiatives?
Okay, I think we need to say that up to 10 months ago, it wasn't possible to do something like that through the private sector and the municipalities. After the reform, it became possible, although we are still lacking a part of the legislation that needs to change with regards to private-public partnerships. We have started creating companies under the municipalities that could potentially work together with private individuals. And yes, in our case, it's something that we are trying to move forward to, especially with infrastructure that have to do with sports. In the area of Ipsonas, let's say, there is a project that we do want to develop a swimming pool, a hotel, a recreational area of a budget of around 50 million, and we have private investors now in talk with us to see how we could potentially develop that area. On the previous note with the social housing, Kourou municipality is also moving forward with social housing to develop an area of 26,000 square meters in Drahoni and create 200 new units so that we can accommodate for the needs of the greater area. Again, it will be, as with Limassol municipality, with clear emphasis on the amount of money that each couple is getting.
5
but we do
minutes
not
left.
want to create a place where it will be accommodated by people of very, very low income. We understand that Limassol is growing and we need to accommodate for the growth, but we cannot get to an area or create an area that will create problems to the greater residential areas of Kourion. So it is something that we are dealing. I would say the biggest help that we could actually get is through the European Union. The budgeting for Kourion municipality for infrastructure projects, it's 180 million for the next 5 years. So you can imagine, to get that amount of money, we would definitely need money either from the local government, but we know that that is restricted, so we are moving through the European Union.
Thank you, Vangelis. I have more questions. I have questions on climate neutrality, on transportation, but I have also this time bomb that it's going to explode if we don't finish soon. So I will have to turn to the audience and see if we have any questions. Yes, please. Please allow us to give you a microphone, and please, if you want to direct your question to one of the mayors or the
Yes.
panel in general.
Hello, I want to ask Mr. Katsis, what's the plan of the municipality regarding parking in the historical center of Limassol? We see every day new buildings, investments like hotel in the heart of Limassol, but for years now we see only one medium-sized parking with a lot of nice trees that you cannot park affordably there overnight. Tourists are looking for parking and there are not many options there. What the municipality will do in order to solve this problem and attract more tourists who hire cars and visiting historical center of Limassol? And also what will do for the citizens of Limassol who want to visit the center to shop, eat and spend time there? We see in many European and Middle East cities underground public parkings and multi-level parkings that serve this purpose. It's true that in Cyprus public transportation is not a solution and is not used mainly from tourists and locals. So investing in the infrastructure and find solutions to offer public parking in the historical center, in my opinion, it's a must to do.
Thank you. Dimos?
Thank you so much for the question. And I tend to agree a lot with what, I don't know who said the question, but I fully agree with the content of the question and what needs to be done in this respect. So we need to go now with what we develop currently, but I will tell you also what, in my opinion, can solve the problem. I start with what we develop currently. Currently, we found a small problem with the previous municipality in the sense that an offer for smart parking and sensors in the city center was rejected by the Supreme Court on some grounds of problems with the offer. So we are going out now. We are on tenders in order to get a new offer to make all Limassol, not just the city center, but for the city center it will be very helpful in the area of on-street parking. So we will make smart parking that, in my opinion, will benefit a lot the city center and will stop the problem that you correctly indicate, which is the problem of people leaving cars without effectively any kind of restriction, any kind of problem. This is the first thing. The second thing which we will do now is we are on the kind of preparations with our technical part in order to create a parking in the area which is called Epaminonda Street, which will allow us to bring a very big parking in that area that will allow people to use that parking and then be in a position to walk in the city center. The third thing, which in my opinion, and I a bit disagree with you on the area of public transportation, I personally consider that public transportation needs to be reinforced in the city. We are making bus lanes in some particular streets. And in addition to this, we are building one-way roads which will be connected with the center. Via this way, I believe it will solve a lot the problem of bringing people in the center and also from a traffic perspective. But for the future, my suggestions, which I believe can somehow solve the problem and create Limassol municipality super financially strong, is the jewel that we hold, which is the parking of an areas. They are temporarily, we're going to have smart parking, but for the future, in my opinion, we need to proceed. We need to proceed in the future, and in my opinion, build, operate, and develop an underground parking in the area of an areas. This will be a buzzer for the city in the sense that everybody coming in Limassol will be in a position to park there, but we will be in a position also to have small electric buses that will be entering the city center. So for the future, this is my suggestion, and this is what we need, I believe, to invest a lot in. And I humbly believe that it will solve the problem once and for all.
Thank you, Dimos. Mr. Yason.
My colleague said four solutions. And the fifth solution for you is to come to Larnaca. Much more parking and cheaper. That's the fifth solution. Thank you.
But when you play in the Champions League, why go in the conference?
We had a big one last night. We had a big one. Because it's safer and more humane. That's the answer. And it's family oriented.
Because we don't have all the municipalities here, we cannot start this discussion. But maybe another one or two questions at most.
Okay,
So, can we
I will ask.
The microphone, please.
Okay, we ask two questions. We are an investor here in Limassol, and I would like to ask you, why does it take so long to get the initial building permit? And the other question is, when do you think the outline plan will be approved? Thank you.
So Limassol is monopolizing the question. We are in
Again,
Limassol, so we have to...
yeah. Now, about your question about your first question, from 1st of July 2024, a new body was created which is responsible for licensing in the city. This body is called EOA, and Limassol municipality has 3 representatives there. So in terms of the licensing, what we are doing as municipality is the following, because we don't control the licensing permits anymore. So in this respect, what we are trying to do is lobby with the respective authorities there to make the whole process way smoother and way faster. Now, they started, to be honest, a bit slow, but the development recently that I have seen is getting honestly better and better. The people that they are there are very friendly, they want to do work, they want to help. I happen to speak very oftenly with Yannis Tsouloftas, who is the leader of EOA. I believe a lot in him. He's a visionary without taking any political stance about the matter. But from our side, what we are trying to do on EOA is to lobby to get things better. Nevertheless, we have our own power as well. Our own power is vested when there are incentives requested in our area, in our district. So what we did there is what I briefly described before. We are open to investors' ideas. We are open to see investors. What do they plan to do in the city? With only one criteria: how this city will be getting better, how this city and its citizens will be benefited from investors. So what we want is investors to be open, to come to us. We can see what kind of incentives we can give them. We are very open to help them, but we want all the benefits to go to this city and its people.
Thank you, Dimos. Unfortunately, yes, I will allow Pandelis to add something to this.
I can answer actually the second question regarding
Please,
the
very
local
quickly,
development plan.
because this thing is warning us that...
The local development plan has already been started to be discussed in Nicosia. It is estimated that by the end of the year, we will be giving, they will be asked to give our views as local authorities, and it will be reissued by 2028. So that's the timeline for the change of the local development plan.
Thank you, Pandelis. Unfortunately, as you understand, time is up. I hope that the mayors may have some time take your questions in private. I think that we have given the opportunity to everybody to get some knowledge about what is being done about our smart cities, livable cities, sustainability, and transportation. We may have not answered all the questions, but I believe we are all more enlightened, and we all feel that we have strategies that can drive our cities in the next few years. Thank you very much, everyone.